You've heard a lot of people talk about product market fit. And if you think about outside in, that is the intersection of the thing that you love that you want to build and what people actually find useful and want to pay for, and is going to give you the traction you need. So outside in is really fundamental to this. And so much has been said about it, but there are two things that are changing. The first is that pace of AI is so damn blazing fast that you really need to change the type of thinking you use to really redefine what does it mean to product market fit, what's going to make it lasting. So we're going to dive into 5 subcategories of product market fit. So the first one's founder market fit. And that's very important for every company, but B2B companies in particular, if you don't know the domain you're disrupting, you're at a severe disadvantage. And so that's the first one. The next one we're going to talk about is about the match between your customer segment and your AI precision. Is the problem you're solving solvable with AI at a sufficient level of accuracy that matches the needs of that particular customer segment? In AI-first companies, this is a really big problem.
The founder piece of this is like, what is the core insight that you have? What is the problem that you are so passionate about that you like chase it rapidly and just continue to want to solve it and have the credibility to continue to chase it? And I think, I mean, it's interesting on the heels of Oracle's announcement yesterday around some of the work that, some of the work and the deals that they've solved and their stock going crazy. You see these founder-led companies, even from Larry Ellison or Meta or Salesforce, Sam Altman and OpenAI, like these folks who are just chasing these problems doggedly despite the technology evolving over decades.
The advantages that you get are just a deep curiosity that just will not leave you alone, right? So it's like, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm jotting things down because I leave my phone downstairs so I won't look at it all night, right? But it's like question after question after question. And a lot of folks will jump in and maybe they don't have the domain, but they have their technical founder. That's okay too. But you need to have that curiosity so that you come up the learning curve extremely fast, right? I was able to establish early trust with people who were interested in talking with me, right? Because most of them are like, go screw yourself. We've been oversold, and then you leave us at implementation, and we just don't want to talk to you. But when they see that you have like the light in your eyes, that you really care about this problem, you'll get a minute. And that minute will turn into 30 minutes, and another call, and another call. And before you know it, you're mapping problems, and you hold on to that person. And then you get the next one. There's no more destination product market fit. It's get there and hang on for dear life, and hopefully build a great team and get out on the front foot and keep going.
I've had 25 years of addiction to hard problems. I think somebody else said that, particularly in healthcare, whether it's, stem cells into humans. We thought at one point we were going to be growing organs and be able to take them off the shelf. Obviously that didn't come true, but we've made advancements there. CRISPR technology, the whole genome sequencing revolution, et cetera. But technology is great, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a good feel for the alignment of decision makers in that space, you could solve one problem here on the left, but there are 5 others that aren't going to get you to the next stage of that product market fit.
And so really being clear on, and this is sort of just like the finance and dollars and cents piece of this, but I think it sort of indicates like you can waste a lot of time and a lot of capital chasing the wrong segment here. And so being really clear on, are you building sort of a purposeful tool for the customer that you really are precise about? And those people will get better experiences if you're clear on it.
And we talk to folks, and I talk to folks all day long, but the promise of AI, or what's getting overhyped to those who are trying to buy into this, is, before it was, can you streamline my work, right? Can you bring it all together in a space where you can streamline my work? Now it's like, can you eliminate my work, right? And so when they're coming to me or we're talking to them, they're like, how are you going to help me eliminate my work or the things that I don't want to do? And LLMs aren't necessarily totally there yet, right? And specifically when we're talking about money movement and compliance and finance and IRS filings, like you can't screw up 2% of money movement, right, for a nonprofit. they'll fail their filing, and then they're out, kaput. We're hardening all your workflows that you had never hardened in one space before, right? So they're all here. You have a system of action, which I believe maybe Dave Yuan of Tidemark coined, but it's a system of action. It's the first time ever we have a system of action. And then, and already, we'll bring in agentic AI, or we'll bring in, it's now going to help work on those things for you. So now we know that it's working perfectly, and we can start bringing in the elimination side of it for the B2B side. But
What we're really trying to get at is, for the problem that you are using AI, is the accuracy profile matching that specific customer segment? Because that's where a lot of people get it wrong. So it isn't, obviously there's a yes/no decision, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the case that you said yes, but you misunderstood the accuracy needed for that segment.
then everybody should be multi-threading, right? You're talking to tons of people. You're trying to figure out what their value is and what they need. Still working on pricing fit every day. Hopefully we got the Paul Graham thing right, where we're coming in low enough that we can squish the competitor up against the ceiling and have some room to grow, versus putting ourselves too high to start and then getting totally screwed by somebody else, especially right now when the cost of compute is low and everybody can replicate your product while you're trying to find your moat. Right? We were on a call, and it was like 10 people, and we're like right here at the finish line closing this deal, and here comes the accountant that's actually the bottleneck for the workflow this is supposed to benefit. And she says to us, and she's amazing, right? She says to us, well, there's just too many clicks, and I need to inspect this one piece of data, but I have to open another window. And Sean, my co-founder, is like, zoop over here and cursor, and throws up a screen. He's like, what if it did this? And she's like, done.
So for us, and just from previous experience, I get really paranoid on building solutions on other people's platforms, because they control your destiny. Companies can merge, cut you out, all kinds of things, and I've learned that the hard way. So for us, the way we protect what we have and what we're building is really based on the data that we harnessed. It's ours. We have know-how on how to collect it, how to curate it, how to build insights, and how to present that ultimately to the end buyer of that data.
All technology is going to asymptote. Everybody's going to be building as much, like somebody said it earlier, someone's going to spin open a cursor and try to copy what you're doing. So what are you doing beyond that?
Build workflow and figure out, is there there with this kind of technology for your use case, and then start producing data that allows you to create something unique that you do truly think is sort of like a flywheel that is defensible. But I don't know that there's like a silver bullet on this that says, follow these 3 steps to infinite defensibility.
Speed is required. If you're not moving fast and your team's not moving fast, you're not going to find your moat. Right? That's required. And that doesn't mean over-index on hustle culture and never sleep. I saw your post about making sure you sleep. It's important. You can't get by on 4 hours, and that's for real. But you need to have speed to learn, and then you can get to that moat building. Yeah.
Things are evolving fast. I like velocity. I actually like acceleration more, because I think things aren't slowing down and we haven't hit a constant, and I just don't see that happening. But that means that at the end of the day, you've got to have multiple touch points with everybody involved and figure out quickly what's not working.